lineup?
I think it comes down to just having better late game and trying to have better team fights. If you have those two things, then you become really powerful. And right now, OG are looking to take that control, having the best late game and team fight.
Yeah, and the only like real weakness Medusa has is that she actually doesn't deal damage early on. But now you have the draw aura, and the split shot actually deals like 100 damage per shot. And now the hero is actually really good in team fights, as opposed to just being, you know, like there and being a nuisance. Now he's actually like a real carry there already.
You make a great point. With the draw aura, it certainly seems to help her early game quite a bit. TNC since then have been able to snag up the Vengeful Spirit. Will we know that she's commonly good to just bail out someone who is caught in that pickle under that Chronosphere, and particularly it could be the Lifestealer, but anything else you see that's able to kind of add to the synergy of TNC, or why Venge had to be the pick there for 4?
I think Venge, just because the Chronosphere is going to be so useful against them. OG, though, with the pick to go, maybe something like Tree or Phoenix just to complete their teamfight combo. I think the downside of having a Medusa on your teamfight, more than anything, is you always represent where your team's going to go, because you don't want to leave a Medusa on her own. She's just going to kind of be a tank that runs down a lane. Yeah. You kind of just have to always follow her, and that is going to be the downside, but they needed a healer. The Witch Doctor instead. I think this is a decent option.
I mean, Witch Doctor is amazing with Medusa ult and Faces Void ult, of course. Like, when Medusa stones somebody and you have a Witch Doctor ult hitting him, he actually just melts, like, right away.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Looking good, Witch Doctor.
Yeah, we don't usually get to see all the AR effects. We're like have our back facing toward it, but he's looking like he's having a good time as that 5th pick.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would go for Caudle actually, but the Witch Doctor works really well as well. I think just that recall would help Medusa split push a little bit more, since you have a very slow hero in Medusa.
Ooh, last grab is the PL here for TNC. I know we don't have too long, but based on the draft you see before you here, Will, is it going to be OG or TNC with game 1?
I think TNC actually have a pretty decent draft, but I think OG are pretty comfortable with what they have, and I think the Faceless Void can make the difference here.
For me, the biggest problem TNC is going to face is late game draw ranger now is actually really good if you go Aghanims and Mjolnir. That can easily clear all the illusions, and you have Medusa and Faceless Void for late game as well, so for me it's OG.
I just think the PL is going to struggle to get his items quick enough, and for that reason I think OG are going to be able to take towers, so they win.
Fair enough, gentlemen. Now, with that said, we got TNC versus OG game number 1. Let's go ahead and throw it over to the opposite side of the arena where we have our casters. Take it away.
10 seconds.
Thanks a lot, Dakota. It is time for TNC versus OG. OG, a team that are no strangers to that lower bracket. Gonna fight through and look for the grand final, look for the big prize. They've taken 2 majors. They're still hunting for a TI grand final, and maybe even a victory there. But TNC, maybe they can do what MVP did, play that aggressive style, get the upper hand, and bring down another favorite in this tournament, OG.
TNC had a pretty good record against the Drow Ranger in the group stage, but OG, this is what they're familiar with. This is how they made their run in Frankfurt.
See if they can make the same run. I know you were looking through the draft while they were going through. The last picks didn't even happen. We're noticing also TNC seemed very comfortable with what they were going to get. There's a little smirk that came out from Demon when the Invoker ban came. It's like, you know what, we're not even going to look to pick that one up. And you were sitting there going, it's PL. It's definitely PL.
I could just see the look in Jimmy's face. He knew what was going to happen. He's like, we expected this. They don't actually run that many different lineups with the Drow Ranger. It's usually the Medusa or the OD and sometimes the Invoker, but they've been favoring the Medusa a lot more, and they left their mid pick open. Cuckoo really likes the Phantom Lancer. They had banned out the Naga Siren. It was pretty much the only natural defusal carrier left in the pool for him.
And do you feel like TNC, with this drop, we've seen power of Axe throughout this, especially through the playoff area? Is this going to be enough to give pressure to OG? The power was leaning more towards like the fact that OG can just take 3 towers.
As long as they don't get crushed in lane. Yeah, I think that's where Crit Enchantress comes into play. He already has a smoke. He's ready to roll. He is the key hero in this early game, and OG already have an upper hand with the Drow Ranger, but combine that with Enchantress, like if she catches the Axe jungling, it could get really rough for them. And TNC already prepping up for the early game. They have deep wards onto the Radiant side of the map. They're already smoked up.
It was an odd movement because the other Titan went by himself. So he just walked himself forward while the rest of TNC smoked and went down through the bot lane. Yes, they've still got the Obs Ward down. This will make it more difficult for the Enchantress to rotate around. And we start to see how lanes unfold. And we know the Cuckoo's going to take the PL to the mid lane. And it seems like Axe will be playing the off lane. A couple of Fairy Fires up his sleeve. But easy rotations for both the VS as well as the ET to inflict just a little bit of change to these lanes of OG. And OG, okay, they're still hovering extra supports on the north.
So we've seen like a lot of good Enchantress play throughout the entirety of TI thus far, and like Enchantress, you can just outplay so vastly in the early game if you can just dodge your Sentry Ward or dodge your early Observer Wards, just keep it completely hidden as to where you are. And they have no idea where Crit is right now. They don't have any eyes on him. He could be starting at the big camp on the bottom side. He could be starting the big camp on the right side, the big camp like next to the Secret Shop. And OG Moon is already in their jungle trying to clear out the area.
He knows he's fine when he's got Time Walk, but just early chip damage, not the greatest thing. Time Walks off a little bit of it, but still have to get through a couple of tangos to get back to full life.
Sometimes you can get a little bit of a hint as to where the Enchantress is with the creep block, but Moon doesn't have the range creep in front of them, so they don't really know where she is right now. So she gets a Centaur Creeper.
It looks like TNC is leaning towards this dual lane. A Spirit onto No-Tail with a follow-up call, maybe that could cause some problems, but they need to get some levels up, both the ET as well as the Axe, to really make this work.
This is gonna, yeah, I don't really know how they're gonna deal with these two ranged heroes at the moment. Drow Ranger are really good at just harassing the Axe without any counter fire from him. And where did he send his first creep? So he sent the Centaur Conqueror top to deal with Demon mostly and make sure that Faceless Void gets some farm. And I think as Blitzen mentioned earlier, the Faceless Void have been struggling to get a lot of farm in this tournament. And Demon has already placed a Sentry Ward too, so there won't be any big camp available up there.
And the Centaur's interrupting the pull, so it's not going to completely do it. Managed to drag up one of the small Fell Spirits.
I actually like to build from Fly. You don't often see position 5 start off with Boots first, but I think it's a nice response to the Boots first or Windlace first Elder Titan, or else Elder Titan will get his way in the lane. And you already have enough damage with the Drow Aura, so don't really need too many stats at all.
Crit was about to rotate down. He actually had to commit 2 Sentry Wars to get rid of this Obs, which was inside of his own jungle. But he was making the move because both Sam and EU started harassing into the lane. So you asked the question, like, how do you deal with the 2 range lane from OG on the safe? Simple thing was just run at them. Quick battle hunger, extra movement speed, and just look for a couple of lucky spins. And the Elder Titan, okay, that's an early Maledict point. You do have the car still available. As Elder Titan will run up a little bit further, Fly, it stays on his back. There goes your cask. Elder Titan, he's still a very tanky hero, but the bounce back over, he'll drop down low, but the malediction is not enough.
Yeah, he got like, he didn't miss up.
Wait, Fly, he's not done. He is not done. He was coming over to the camp. He may just be here for a denial, but then ET lets the Spirit fly over. He gets the kill, but just the Spirit. Oh no. All he wanted to do was farm and deny himself up to get back to base more efficiently, and the ET just slips the Spirit over, and first blood belongs to TNC.
What a play from AU right there. You might suspect that the Witch Doctor has an Observer Ward. Maybe he's just going to try and block the camp so they can't stack for the Axe, but going for that play was huge.
Cricket was insanely low here. There's no Mystic Snake available from Miracle.
He was getting crushed at CS. Just a minute ago, he had 2 CS in the first 4 waves. Now he'll get some. I think he probably called Demon over, realizing that this is just not a good lane for Phantom Lancer, or at least not early. You have to dodge most of the Mystic Snakes, which is tall order.
With also the assistance of Demon, Kuku's able to find the last bit of farm to get that bottle, and this will allow him to stand a lot better. So, other lanes, we've still got Moon going up against Raven on the top lane, Moon getting a little aggressive. Again, we see this off-lane Void, Universe went for the same build with a 2-0-2. Try and beat that aggression RNG man on the off-lane. Never know what can go your way.
The ET's really trying to keep tabs of the Enchantress. He's placed another Sentry Ward to block that camp, just to make sure that his movements are really inefficient. He's only level 2 at the moment.
Top lane, Moon already using Time Walk, very low on life. The Magic Missile will connect, and TNC, they're looking to claim it. Yet another kill. First one from ET, the second one goes the way of the Live Stealer. Elder Titan not in the greatest position. There's a lot of Shard Golems here for Crit to get a continuous chain stun onto the Elder Titan. He just wants to stomp up, but it's not possible. The control is too much, and Medusa finds his own kill as well. Miracle with that double damage rune. So split fights on both the rune areas. Now levels up at 2 apiece.
Now it's difficult for Elder Titan to go back into the jungle because Crit can easily just kill him. Even the right click without any creeps is going to be pretty hard from Crit, and he didn't get the Observer Ward deep inside the base. Crit, yeah, he gets scouted out as he places his own. Still has 3 golems.
And he's trying to come up and do something about the TNC support again. These golems are going to time out shortly. So having that early ward being removed They got one on the mid lane, one up the top. That gets dewarded. OG won't have that much vision for Crit to move. TNC pair again on bottom lane. The Axe comes in at level 4.5, but he's put some movement. ET's at least got Spirit into Stomp, so he might be able to get that Spirit in behind Fly, but it's only just come back into him.
A lot of Axes would have just Iron Talon to like level 3 or 4, or sometimes level 6 and 7, and then come down to the lane, but it looks like they wanted to really limit the Witch Doctor's levels and sacrifice ETs as a result. I think the level 6 from the Witch Doctor is much more important for OG, because they can combo that with the Chronosphere or the Stone Gaze.
Demon, mid lane. Crit, he doesn't have another stun available, and Demon's just got enough life. There is, however, a Dukin, but it's well far off target. Demon gets back to his tier 3.
Vision makes that especially hard. Sam gets maledicted next to a bunch of creeps.
And Notel's moving up as well. He's got Cold Arrow's Gust and the Aura. But with only a level 1 Cold Arrow, he can't perfectly kite the Axe. You have at least a second point up in that.
But that Observer Ward, though, it's going to be hard for OG to move around in their jungle contested without any smokes. That's a very difficult ward to deward.
A little bit of danger time for TNC. There's an amplification of damage going all the way across OG's lineup. Everyone now gets a bonus 25 in the damage, thanks to Drow Ranger hitting her level 6.
But look at PL. PL's like already heading back to base. He's half the CS of Medusa and just struggling to even stay in the lane, whereas Medusa bottled up a regeneration rune. So she's good for the next few minutes.
Can you create space for the PL, like move Lifestealer off, or is there another path?
And they kind of tried to with Vengeful Spirit, but then the Enchantress came top, so Vengeful Spirit had to come up there, and it's all a matter of just making sure Enchantress doesn't crush your lanes. And with the First Blood, I think it's actually going TNC's favor, despite the kill being even, because the Enchantress isn't owning as hard as you might expect due to really good movement from the ET and good wardage.
I have a hard time trying to kill off this Lifestealer, but Aces Void does have Chronosphere up. At the level 6 over on Crit, there's not a lot of burst damage arriving into the Chronosphere. Yeah, they bring extra help, so it's Notel who'll arrive up on top lane. This becomes more of a push battle now. They look to take out the tier 1 tower, and we'll see if TNC wants to defend it. They've already moved the Lifestealer off the lane. It looks like they're really not in a spot to do so.
OG rotate their Drow Ranger much earlier than other teams, sometimes before treads. Usually it happens about when Drow Ranger gets her Dragon Lance and treads, I would say, but they do it like as soon as she hits level 6.
Down the bottom lane, paralyzing cast, tries to keep Sam away from flying. The Stomp's going to come in. That'll stop the Witch Doctor. There's no TP support coming down right now. It's just a straight trade-off. You lose your Witch Doctor for your tier 1 tower on top.
Definitely OG favored, and I think the Drow train is just gonna keep on coming. If you want to fight right now, you have to fight in your Enchantress creep.
He's up a fair distance. Still a lot of shield power. He's got 1 charges, bottle charges,
raindrops.
Yeah, everything. Miracle is a very difficult hero to kill.
Yeah, without the Axe there, I don't think there's any chance they go for that.
They rotate again. OG now bringing almost all, will be all 5 players into the mid lane. Chrono's up. TNC are still respecting this. They are running a full melee lineup against Chronosphere. An easy thing to play against, and you don't have a saving swap yet. Demon still doesn't have that level 6.
Bottom tower is
the only thing that TNC can do right now is try and stomp to stall the push. It's only a level 2 stomp though. ET's level 2 or level 2 stomp right now, and they have a lot of trouble keeping their Observer Wards down on the map. The one that Demon just placed mid got dewarded. The one on bottom is
Demon's dead actually. Moon is going to commit to top lane, commit the Chronosphere onto that Vengeful Spirit, so an easy solo kill for him. Moon will take it while the T1 tower will drop. The predictions of the panel is coming true. OG just have so much early presence that TNC have no real rebuttal to.
And ET normally pretty good at dealing with this sort of push, but not when it comes this early. I wonder what Miracle's gonna go for. I think maybe a Dragon Lance. We've seen like double Dragon Lance from OG when they run this, just to keep on sieging and force the opponents to come to them, which isn't going to happen before Axe gets his Link, I think, because they've been really good about spreading out, making sure they don't get hit by the Stomp, and all of these TNC heroes in front of them. Like they really don't have a good way to get on top of the Drow Rangers, stop her marksmanship, and stop all that physical damage from shutting down their towers.
And the Blink is so far away. Like, there are no stacks for Axe. There's and they just smoked underneath the Radiant Observer Ward as well. This is not the dream TNC, so OG can move into a good prepared position. They still have their own Obs Ward. What they won't realize is that Dire Observer Ward, actually they may
They don't even
Realize
have the
it's
life
still
stealer
there.
here. It's gonna be really bad.
Fly is very visible. They're being surrounded. Medusa already TPing out, so it looks like once again Fly will be the punching bag. And he's already got 2 deaths to his name. He'll make it 3. The stomp will arrive. And that's TNC yet again finding another kill, but they're losing out on the map.
Yeah, Moon TP'd out way before that, and Drow Ranger TP'd a little bit later, just to make sure that, likely get this T1. Vengeful Spirit's gonna be there, but she's only level 5 at the moment, and even with a wave, I don't think that tower's gonna stay alive.
All she can do is just pull the creep wave off the tower, but that's only the first wave. And with a Drow Ranger, you don't really care. Drow is fantastic at bringing down these early tier 1 towers.
Early Vlad's already out. Faceless Void 2, 10 minutes in, combine that with Treads, and Roshan soon to be OGs. And only level 1 Untouchable and Enchantress, so it might be a little bit slow. They are hurting a little bit on levels. Fly is not level 6. White, yeah, and Enchantress not level 6, but 10 minutes of hit. Tome of XP, but this actually might favor TNC a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know. It's more the trade-off of sending the axe to the lane at the start.
Bottom lane. Goodbye, Demon. Just behind that tier 2 tower, maybe it's not enough. Moon thought he had it, and now he's in way too deep. TNC, they wait for the call. Remember, they've still got a Culling Blade. This will guarantee the kill before the time walk up, but he goes into the tree lines. The stomp, perfectly read from the ET. Moon thought he had a get out of jail free card, but there's your Culling Blade. There's still 3 players killing off an over-aggressive Faceless Void under a tier 3 tower. The Live Stealer gets a solo kill on the Witch Doctor up on the top lane. And TNC, they're finding kills. This will stall up OG's push a little bit.
Just need a few more stacks. Like X could easily do like a double ancient stack and be very close to his Blink Dagger. No Tail hurting a little bit in the farm. Actually, number 3 right now. The Life Stealer is getting there. The armlet build is nice. You want that armor so you can just stay in the middle and not have to pop your defensive cooldowns. It's just tank it up so that your teammates can do the damage. And PL, I've seen him rush Diffusal before, as well as go for BOTs first. It might be, it's probably too early to tell which one he's going to go for.
PL already not being ready to fight. Either you dodge or you amplify your own damage during it.
Yeah, I think it depends on like how the first axe with call goes. If you lose that fight, then I think you just have to split push.
Top lane, nice little trap being sent by Raven. He wants to loop in the back of Notel. An easy open wounds and rage up. And this Drow Ranger won't really stand a chance. He's also got infest damage. If he can't get Notel straight away, the gust will come, but the rage was protecting him. And that's a big kill. Life Stealer, he's now got 4 out of the 7 kills of TNC. Almost 600 gold for that 1 kill. Raven's becoming a bit of a beast.
Yeah, they have to be very careful about the Life Stealer, and I think he might even have enough damage to kill people before they can TP out, which is a very big problem if your Life Stealer can solo kill. This leaves a lot of room for the PL and Axe to actually get their items up.
Axe is getting his Blink Dagger too, finishing up this double Ancient stack. Doesn't really have a lot of life to survive it, however. That's the downside. We can just let Demon stack it again in a couple of seconds.
I think he can just sell his Fairy Fire and get a Blink.
That'll work.
He'll need someone else to purchase a smoke for him. I guess he could sell his lace too. Radiant has you scan. It will hit red. Demon just walks right into there. But I don't know. I don't know what OG make of that.
Yeah, do you think like are they coming to gank Moon as well as crit?
Their whole team's coming now, so they think that something's up.
They still see that aggressive Observer Ward in the dire jungle. It sees the PL and the ET just moving around. The PL still continuously farming.
Axe has his Blink Dagger. They do have a smoke on Demon, and this will be the time.
And at the same time, OG will also 3-man smoke up. Fly, Moon, and Miracle move through the bottom river.
They wanted to smoke up right next to the Sentry Ward. They have 2 Sentry Wards to play just to make sure that OG does not have the jump. But OG have already claimed this high ground, but they're not 5 strong at the moment.
But look at the line TNC is drawing. They want to go all the way down through the river and then back up behind them where TNC will not be expecting it. But then Dire, they use the scan. They don't see anyone behind OG.
And with the scan, with the plus of elimination, they have to be.
They send the PL. They send the PL in through the front, trying to bait the movement forward. Notel to be the primary objective. There's your jump in already with a follow-up stun. The Spirit for the stop. PL will find the kill. Stonegate to turn off the Medusa with Moon's control and that death block. It reaches up to the Phantom Lander. He's got Doppelganger. This will buy a little bit of time to back out the tier 2 tower while Raven hunting the support to the back line. He finds Fly raging up. You'll find that kill on the Witch Doctor with the Spirit down as well. Raven may just have enough space for the follow-up stomp to find a different target, but who does he TNC want. You can ask Culling Blade behind the lines, so there's even more heroes going down for OG. Miracle starts his TP out. There's no more stuns, but you do have that blink plus call up right now for the Axe. He blinked into the pit, same with a stomp, but they predicted wrong. Moon will take the bounty route and escape back to the mid lane.
Man, that was such a next level play from TNC. The obvious play is to, okay, we're just gonna go from lane without smoking. The next level play is to smoke around through the secret shop, and then the next level play is like, okay, they expect us to smoke through there, so we're actually gonna take this super long way around. I don't know who called that from TNC, but that was brilliant.
And it pays off for them. Now that they're 10-4, the gold advantage, which was over 4,000 in favor of OG, is starting to bring itself back down to the 0 mark, and experience is going the way of TNC.
Is under attack.
So we see Dragonlance number 1 on OG, just a Drow Ranger, but 15 minutes in with 3 towers down, you'd hope that she has a little bit more. Miracle also not doing terribly great in the farm department, but at least he has not died yet.
That is definitely an upside. Just needs to keep on with the net worth being now hitting 6k.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Cuckoo's
attack.
going for more of a fighting build.
Dire's
They've
structures
had decent
are
success with their first smoke, so he has committed
That's a
to
good
crits.
ward from Demon. They actually see crit just swapping straight back in again. It's the old classic Tinker ward on the hillside. And it gives Demon the way to get through the trees and find initiation outside the trees.
You can't hide in the trees against Demon. He's like, that's where I would be.
He is the king of trees. He was always that bottom lane Tidehunter, hiding in the small little crevice.
Well, they just smoked under him Observer Ward though, even though
they did that before and it still worked out.
yeah.
And maybe they were thinking it's a time to slip in for Roshan. Miracle as the Medusa illusion just hovering around the pit, actually dragging Roshan out. So even if they want to start, they can't do it straight away. Alright, so off they go. Consume the mango. Miracle's now Medusa illusion. It does see what's going on. OG, they have Chronosphere, they have Stone Gaze, and they're going to 4-man smoke. They're headed over, and TNC, they know the fight is coming. So they've moved up into the Radiant jungle, and in fact, they're moving over. You can 4-man smoke as OG, but it's going to be the bottom lane where No-Tail gets jumped up, called up, split it in half, and then Culling Blade down. But no, the Gust, it pushes him back. Where's the stun? Where's the damage? No-Tail barely going to take a fall. OG smoke didn't wrap around TNC in time. They didn't find that small little floater as well for TNC.
Oh, look at this courier micro too coming out from TNC. They know that, okay, they're going to use this time to try and set up around the Roshan pit, and they have a sentry already there. They move the courier to the high ground.
Straight up Chrono coming from Moon with a death ward. They'll have more than enough damage to burn through the ET. Demon was making his way over, but couldn't get in range for a swap. Still only level 1 at this point.
That's 2 ultimates for 1 hero though, and that's with their Drow Ranger still down. I think TNC are going to look for a fight. They've invested inside the Axe. Is he going to be able to get in range?
They need somebody, but who is in range right now? The Outwolf was the only thing you could probably catch up to.
This is...
Why is Moon? I'm not certain what Moon is looking for. He's got double observers down, but without having Chronosphere, he can't bail out. And the dire creep wave doesn't actually scout him in that position either.
They'd be expecting that the courier might be off in some... Oh, Dire's courier has been killed. I don't know when that happened, but...
Might have been worried as well. TNC would rotate back over for him.
Kuku's pretty close to the Defusal Blade. GPM, not terribly great, but it's... You know, he's getting there. They've been fighting a
Radiant's
lot, up
middle
7
tower
kills
is
on
under
OG,
attack.
and again,
Dire's
contest
top
for
tower
Roche.
is under attack.
They're wrapping around. OG come down to Roshan. Moon's probably going to be the easiest target to start on.
How did TNC always have the upper
I
hand
don't know.
position?
They just keep doing it every time. The landslide is down. The jump from Max. They missed the timing. The swamp as well. The Stone Gate turns on from Miracle. Twisted is finding 2 different parts. Raven's the main one. They have to try and save him. The Axe is ready to go back in again for another call. Raven needs to toggle his way through. He just can't do it. The damage is too much. The Death Ward from Fly keeping TNC out of the choke point of the stairs. And this will allow OG to move over to Roshan. A big fight for them. The fact they took it without Chronosphere as well.
Moon outplayed them so hard right there. He, like, the lifestealer split away from the Axe because he was worried about getting Chrono, but Chrono wasn't even up. It was like 20 seconds away from being on cooldown, but that's just your natural reaction when a faceless boy jumps in. You're like, oh, okay. I don't want to get caught in that bubble.
Still, This Scourge charm is so hard. You're still up against an Elder Titan on Dire side. Just Spirit and Stomp. This slows everything down. Moon jumps up. He doesn't want to try and battle this inside the pit. The PL illusions now actually not with the Diffusal blade. The Courier is still dead, so he can't fight the Diffusal out. But it looks like Cuckoo wants to doppelganger himself in. It doesn't happen. Moon gets caught. He actually time walks out in time, so he's repaired the damage. They can't color blade straight back down again. Cuckoo, where is your damage? The Chrono! Moon hits 3. Time walks out again, repairing the damage done by TNC. And they lose the axe. With a fresh Aegis Immortal OG, they can just keep pushing.
Moon is just salvaging this early game for them. Just make sure that they don't really have good vision inside the pit. They have to use the Spirit to stomp onto him. Axe can't blink inside the pit to go for the Roshan Steel or to delay the Rosh even further. He was probably the one that killed the chicken. He seemed to be the one that was in a position to, slowing down the Diffusal Blade. Like, Diffusal Blade is a very big deal versus the Medusa, especially when you don't have enough damage to build those illusions really quickly.
They just need it up. They'll have it in a second. 14 seconds till the Courier is back up. Raven goes back into his farming. He's still the #1 net worth on the field, but right behind him is Miracle. Doesn't take that much to do the farm.
What is Jimmy doing?
What does Jimmy ever do?
I don't know.
He is currently playing Do-Si-Do with a Tier 1 tower.
Just a lap around the T1 for good measure.
Hey, Jimmy is the kind of guy, he'll do laps.
Why?
Just
Just Jimmy things. He's got 17 one charges. Looks like he's TPing back to base.
Maybe he wants them to think that he plays some Observer War behind the tower. That's the most logical thing.
They're pitting for it.
They're placing sentries.
Yep, they're going to. It at least got their attention.
Okay, he ran around a T1 to make sure.
They burned 2 sentries. They burned 2 sentries for this.
Yeah. These guys have won a major. They're definitely going to notice a Vengeful Spirit like hasting by, but it's like, yeah, maybe they didn't see me. I'm going to flash myself and stay around here for 5 seconds.
Oh man, the Filipino clown. It's terrific. He at least gets the attention and entertains the crowd.
I like this interview. He's like, oh, I don't do unorthodox plays anymore. The biggest lie.
OG, they're going to smoke move into the Dire jungle. They're actually making a call to wrap around between the Tier 2 and Tier 3 tower. The Elder Titan will break that smoke if they do it, however. With a fresh Observer Ward, the Spirit comes out, so there goes Moon. He has his smoke broke, but he's on the other side of the tree line! Cuckoo actually walked back into the Chronosphere! He wasn't inside it originally, and with Doppelganger already on cooldown, they have to split this fight up. You'll have to stop it, buys time! Elder Titan just wants to TP away, right under Moon's sleeping nose! You lost the axe! But it was the sacrifice that Sam had to make. It kept the rest of OG out of the TNC lineup.
3T2 for them. A little bit of time left on the Aegis, already a Hurricane Pike on the Drill Ranger. I really like No-Tail's skill build this game. I've seen him max Frost Arrows quite a few times, but I think the level 4 Gust has been really crucial. Like, Moon was able to get that Chronosphere off close to the Roshan pit because of the level 4 Gust, or else he would have had his head chopped off.
Demon's trying to get in range for a good swap on No-Tail, but it's still a level 1. If it was level 2, No-Tail had to be a lot more defensive.
Trying to push in the ET with Max Stomp. He's level 9 now.
Is under attack.
Very, very difficult. Especially with no Chrono.
And that's why OG back out. Move over towards the last outer tower of TNC is the Tier 2 on the top.
And both Medusa and Phantom, and Lifestealer accumulating net worth at a similar pace. Pretty rapid.
Still been a good catch up for Miracle. Like, he was a couple of K behind. Now in front of Raven. And you still got to keep in mind, he's getting bonus 56 damage from No-Tail. And this is No-Tail who hasn't gone for a heavy, like, agility item style build.
And everyone else on OG, they're actually going really good items to deal with the Lifestealer. They have a Hurricane Pike, they have a Medallion on the Witch Doctor. It looks like Enchantress possibly building into a 4-step as well. And you have Medusa, who's already really good with a Stone Gaze, so I'm really concerned for the Lifestealer's ability to deal damage in these upcoming fights.
He almost relies on Sam to do the initiation, right? The Axe has to get that control off.
Yeah, but you can just like Chrono on top of him. You can Chrono like 2 of your teammates and the Raged Lifestealer, and I think it'd be worth it for OG.
Unless you can catch out Moon, but now he's finished up Amanda style. There's no silence, there's no control, which will work on him. I have to just spam illusions to burn off enough mana that Moon can't Chrono.
Yeah, you can call him He doesn't have that much damage, so I don't think he'll or attack speed, so I don't think he's gonna kill himself.
Smart move out from TNC. Demon, the last one to leave.
Okay, Jimmy.
He waits a very long time for that one. Actually TP'd up the tower that everyone else was going to as well.
Oh, they've actually bought a gem on the life. I really like this because they got the jump on them in the mid lane. They're like, okay, they place depots as rewards. We don't have good vision around the map. We don't exactly know where they've been, and this is a long-term investment for them.
They're gonna smoke up 4 heroes from the mid tower. When they take that that gem to the top lane, they'll see the other observer ward behind the tier 2 tower. They're actually scanning, looking for OG to be aggressive. But OG are not obliging. Moving all the way back to their own secret shop.
They might get thrown off though with Cuckoo showing in the top lane. He doesn't have VOTs, so they know that if they take a fight like closer to secret shop, the Phantom Lancer can't be there. So,
are you actually a fan of Cuckoo moving away from the BTs and going the treads?
I think he needs Diffusal versus the Medusa. If it weren't a Medusa, I think it'd be maybe a little bit of a folly to not go for a farming build, just because the way this game has kind of slowly died down, especially after all the T2s have fallen. That's kind of how it goes when you're a Drow Ranger versus an Elf Titan. You take down most of the T2s, and then you can't push high ground because high ground defense is really good, so you just tend to farm up and look for pretty good fights.
Right up on top lane if OG wants to have it. Tier 1 tower, Cuckoo just pushing towards it while TNC. They wait in the fog of war. Lifestealer showed himself for just a split moment.
Without a blink on the Face's Void, it might be pretty difficult to hit the Chronosphere right here. They have the Ventral Spirit to the right side to swap out. They have the Axe there to blink call in case he's a little bit hesitant about the Chronosphere, and they're positioned pretty well, but deciding this is not the right time to fight.
TNC.
It's too hard to hit towers. Like, you will just get owned. If 2 people get caught by Chrono, you just like run in with Medusa. No one can save those 2 heroes. You might like swap someone out with Vent, but you'll still lose 2 heroes.
That's why you split up. You find your farm elsewhere. Get ET the rest of his farm. Also bring him very close. In fact, he'll have level 11 now by taking that full wave on the bot lane.
Right now, though, OG have like just way better control of the Roshan Pit. They've taken out 4 towers on the right side of the map, the 4 important dire control towers for the Roshan Pit, and they still have their T1 up. So TNC, they want to take down those T1s so they can actually farm their Ancients a little more safely, protect their Ancients, and deal with a Rosh.
You got an Aghanim Scepter on the Drow, just shy of the 27-minute mark, and No Tail now has the split arrows.
Yep, this is the best build versus a PL. And although PL very good versus Medusa, it will struggle versus Mjolnir Axe Drow Ranger.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
As the last tower, TNC may get their wish, the ability to fight from inside their own base against OG. Way something could go right for him. We've got an Invis Cuckoo. Pick an Invis rune, then got a Lifestealer infested inside of him. Just hoping for one easy pick. They'll walk into the middle of OG. No detection. They just instantly jump on fly. They won't find that kill, but they do move up to crit. Stone is triggered by a miracle. And now in they come. The Chronosphere on the back lines, keeping the other tight. Now the Face Boy doesn't have the damage, especially when you get the call. Moon may be in a lot of trouble here. Surrounded by 4 heroes. They get the stun. Back into the river. Cuckoo still keeps battling. He brought down Fly. OG are in trouble. Cuckoo can't double ganger himself away from this one, but then Axe, a blink double call. They got extra health. The swap back. They want Nurtail. They want that Drow Ranger gone. Now they can deal with the impenetrable miracle. No stuns. The call too far away for the Axe. And there's 4 for a 1 trade-off. You lose your PL, but that's a huge fight for TNC. Not even have to take it inside their own base.
And Sam was really the salvager of that fight. He blinked across the Chronosphere to make sure that his Elder Titan to live. And also just really nice team coordination. They all stopped attacking after a stomp, knowing that they need additional lockdown to prevent him from tie walking. So they waited for the Ventral Spirit, come up with a stun, an easy kill for them. You can see they will lose the Phantom Lancer, but well worth it for them at the end of the day. Lifestealer with a Blink Dagger. It's pretty interesting.
Really worried about getting kited all the time.
Yeah, that was my main concern for him. But with the Blink Dagger and correct infest targets, like, you don't always want to infest the Axe. He does have the Blink Dagger, but it's just often too predictable, and you sometimes need it when you need to, like, let's say, get out of the Stone Gaze, and then you can infest PL can double walk away, and then you can re-engage in as necessary, but it's very important that he survives. He can kill heroes in 2 or 3 hits. He's the best hero to stick onto the Drow Ranger. Miracle somehow escapes unscathed in the...
It's because they ignore him. They know they can't kill him. He got pretty lucky. A fraction of a second more, the Axe would have gotten range, they would have got the call, and TNC would find that kill.
It's also an issue with the build. We saw the Elder Titan in the last series continuously catch +1s with the Yules, I believe, with Zai's Elder Titan. This game, he's gone for a different build. Similar cost in the Vanguard, and now Crimson Guard. Very good versus the Drow Ranger, but not that great versus the Ags Maelstrom build, which Crimson Guard almost does nothing against. But very good versus
TNC keeps sitting underneath this observer ward. Moon has jumped into the pit. So TNC not really aware what's going on. That's why these PL Manta illusions are coming towards the pit. And this will scout out OG's maneuver. Yep, Notel starts attacking him. Roshan already down to 5.5k life. But TNC, they gotta put the pedal to the metal to get to that pit in time. 2k, almost 1k now. The Fear comes in, look for the EC clap and stomp, but it doesn't have any real effect. The actual jump in, they instantly explode. Moon moving to Nortel. He'll get Hurricane Pike out. He still has the Aegis Immortal. Miracle inside the pit with the Stone Gate. He's got more time to attack. Theo can't do much when he gets gusted back for so long. Now Fly, he'll look towards Raven, trying to get rid of that Death Ward. The Spirit will help to do that. He can move on to the next target. Aegis Immortal has triggered. PL wants to keep fighting here as the fight still split up. Find the other Titan, it's Notel the high ground, but Cuckoo right behind it. Nowhere to run, too maneuverable. TNC, they're taking 4, and once again they look for Miracle. Where's the stance? They don't exist.
Raven is just chopping through these supports too. The Life Stealer is such a good pick versus the Enchantress. And Orcs being able to pick off Face's Void early on in the fight. The kill that sealed the deal.
And TNC, such great fights, even with Roshan going down. Like they were fighting up against 8.5k deficit net worth. They're dragging this back bit by bit. They have the experience back their way. And TNC, there's starting to be a real problem for OG, a team with a Drow Ranger and Medusa. They've still got some late game potential, still got a fantastic team fight. But a Drow Ranger 31 minutes in that hasn't taken down a tier 3 tower with the strength they have.
They need to fight together. I think that fight was like looked deceptively good for TNC because they did pick off Moon, but Moon is pretty close to his Blink Dagger. They're close to the Maelstrom on the Drow Ranger, a big power spike. He has the Ags, and I think like even a Solar Crest on Witch Doctor or 4 stabs to make sure that they hide the Life Stealer can be a big deal breaker. TNC, they returning their gem and just trying to secure more vision on the bottom side of the map. They finally taken out the T1 tower in mid, so yeah, I like TNC's position here.
TNC also understand what OG's up to. Just before the Drow headed into the dire jungle, she walked over an observer ward. So TNC understand that OG are not inside their own jungle. That's why Demon is so confident to move forward with a gem and take out the obs. There's still sentries for him to kill off. Maybe they're not going to. They don't overstay their welcome. He walked past 2 sentries, didn't kill either of them. It's not like you're really running an invis hero.
They'll need more farm on the side of OG. Medusa is getting there. Mantis down up pretty soon, but they need to get to the point where they can just all sit around the Medusa, and TNC can't approach her. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that with like PL being a huge nuisance and Life Stealer being able to kill the supports in 1.5 seconds, I would say, but that's what they need to do. And then throw Mjolnir on her if they actually decide to go for her. I don't think they will. I think they just need to kite her with a stomp, but maybe with like a good Manta dodge or a really nicely placed Chronosphere from Face's Void, OG can win the fights. But they also have to protect the Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger has been dying in a lot of these fights, 1 in 5, sacrificing their Drow Ranger for the Medusa.
Well, it's hard when TNC keep finding action runes, like invis runes, wraparounds all the time through the cover of smoke for TNC. OG want to push in the top lane, but you look down towards bottom, Cuckoo is there with a fairly large army, so it's Notel who's the one who's sent back, and without Notel, OG will not be attacking high ground of TNC.
I'm actually a bigger fan of like the Maelstrom build-up before the Ag Scepter. I think Ags is a little underwhelming, I would say, before the Maelstrom, and I think you farm faster with Maelstrom and Ags. It was the other way around. He's still struggling to pick up his Maelstrom. He's 300 gold away though. We'll pick up soon.
These other lanes, like when you stick together as OG, there's not that much farm to go around. Miracle still needs a hell of a lot of farm himself. Like a Medusa. He's still got the highest net worth on the field. With split shot, it's very simple to take out every single wave.
Cuckoo looking to overcome the net worth of the Medusa though. He's actually bought an early VOTs and still keeping his shreds. still, it's that type of game, and people are going to be farming up. Drow Ranger, Maelstrom completes.
TNC's coming out. They got a 3-man smoke. And
I think they're way stronger at this point.
Okay, the line that's being drawn up by Demon at the moment is to wrap around once again. They want to come from behind OG.
OG are waiting for a trap. Like, this is the high ground. They have, they have the observer ward.
Boone was just out of range of that scan. They have the obs in the sentry, but no one's close enough to the mouth of the river to realize that TNC have come from behind. And no, it's not going to happen again. The Drow Ranger, the observer will get planted down. They see no town moving. Demon with the wave of terror reveal his position, but you then just hurricane pike yourself away. And OG, they smoke up themselves. Turn, drum charge. They want to find the opening now. Double obs are down for TNC. So with this axe in close, he'll break the smoke. A big pole position, and he catches them. No talent blind the back line. No talent. Hurricane Pike will save a miracle. He translates the space here with a chronosphere as well as the Stonegate. You've at least locked in two. The splitter on the back line and Lifestealer have done the work here. TNC with Cuckoo. They can go down. They can bring down Miracle. Burn off all the mana, and there's nothing left. No buyback as well for this Medusa. They'll rip through the tier 1 and tier 2 tower, maybe even more. Cuckoo goes straight to the TP to mid lane. He wants to get that tier 2 tower as well there.
I really like the way that TNC has been so patient in these fights. Like, people are hiding in the trees, waiting for the smoke to pop, and as soon as smoke pops, he continually waits. He waits. The two supports, their smoke break, jumps both of them, or jumps the Drow Ranger and the Witch Doctor, and taking out the Drow Ranger is always priority number 1 in the fight. Unless you can get the Void down, but he's much more elusive. Just keep going.
There's no reason to stop for now. Moon's trying to slow it down with time dilation. The Cuckoo has already managed to burn through that tier 3 tower. TNC arrive on the top. How do you deal with this OG? You're already men down and you've been forced to vent 2 lanes of racks. TNC in the space of 1 minute have removed 5 towers from the face of OG. They will back up tons of money flooding into TNC.
Yeah, their team fight calls have just been on point this game. Every single fight that they've taken has just been like they wrap around and the place that OG don't expect. OG like walk into their observer wards, and Sam H's died a few times, but I think he's really finding the good initiations that they need.
This was the strength, though, of TNC right here in the group stages. They're always in that unusual position. If it was a Keeper of the Light recall into the axe, and then you also have like your relocate kind of styles, TNC's positioning was their biggest strength, and showing right here on the main stage.
I think it really helps that, like, you know, I think Jimmy, he's like really good at some point, and then he's like really like falls off after a while. I think it's because a lot of teams get used to his shenanigans. It's like, oh, he's probably hiding in the tree, like, which is way over here, or they're gonna come from this weird angle. And after you play against the same teams over and over, you expect, okay, they smoke from here. This is what they like to do. This is where they place wards. But I think Demon has just this factor of like, of just uncertainty that will catch a lot of teams off guard, especially if you haven't played against them in a while.
That's a full Skadi now for the PL. Insanely tanky, hard to run away from, burning you as you go.
They still have the Drow with Maelstrom. If she can actually attack in the fight, then she can easily clear them out. But TNC have just controlled her every single time. They don't actually have a good way to stop people from attacking. They have a lot of damage, but they don't have like a basher on the Lifestealer. Like Axis Call is a good like semi-disable, but people are still attacking during it. The only one that they have is, I guess, the Elder Titan Stomp, but they're using that mostly to focus down people.
Like all they really want to have is a great Chrono, Stone Gaze, and then Death Ward. But even Fly, you look at him, he has to spend money on buying up a gem. That Aghanim Scepter is a dream for him, but this is a little bit nicer for crit. Finishes up a Hurricane Pike over on the Enchantress.
It's just hard. Like, you don't have really good targets to Hurricane Pike. You can force that yourself, but Lifestealer will still chase after you because he has a Blink Dagger and he has a fair amount of move speed. PL, you can push back one of the illusions, but there's still going to be 20 more on top of you.
Yep. You want to Hurricane Pike the axe, then the cold drags your teammates further away into harm's way, in fact.
Yeah, the Hurricane Pike, like, Force Staff is very... It's not that great versus an axe. A lot of the people like to deal with the axe with, like what they did before actually, was with the OD. You Astral Hunt so that people don't take a lot of damage from the counter helix, or Yule's the axe so that he can't damage people with a blade mail, but their items aren't actually well suited to dealing with axe. They're decent versus Lifestealer, but with the Blink build, like, he has so much uptime.
It's time to look towards Roshan. The man is up. Already been scouted out by By crit, he got himself a small little ghoul, a ghost sitting inside the pit. They're hoping for an opening. TNC, Demon again on the ward quest.
Yeah, these wards are like really important. Even if it goes down, he'll still catch a glimpse of them. And that one's like a little bit more difficult to de-ward, especially during nighttime, and especially when Fly has a gem, because Fly, he can't really like push up too far. If they catch a glimpse of him, they can just jump him. He doesn't have a blink or anything to escape, so let's see if he gets a D-ward, and I think TNC are perched in position to get vision of all of them right now.
Alright, Cuckoo in really close. Axe, he does have the infest inside. They don't want to go just yet. A fresh observer ward down from OG so they can battle from the other side of the tree line. Gives a good decision for Moon.
He sees the ward and then immediately they back out. This is like what I'm talking about, the whole game for TNC. They like wait for them. Look at this ward on the bottom lane too. They're going to walk into that, and looks like Fly will be in vision of that, but TNC are just waiting for the perfect moment to jump. They need the Drow Ranger to show, and look at No-Tail's vision. He's like way on the far right side. Like how are they going to jump him? They can't really see him. They don't have flying vision. I guess maybe with the Elder Titan, but that's a place that you're very unlikely to scout out, and he knows that they're trying to kill him every single time.
Yeah, it was the only safe room to be, only safe place for him to be. Cuckoo was coming in from the west, while the rest of TNC could just push in through the bot lane.
I actually like think that Shadowblade might not be that bad for her, because like the Vengeful Spirit's not going to be in the middle of the fight, because you might swap people out, but like, you're usually waiting for the Chronosphere, and you don't have a Blink Dagger to really get in and out of the fight, so they're unlikely to have vision on the Drow Ranger. Sometimes you use smokes, but OG has had to use their smokes for a lot of the game, but he just has to stay hidden. Maybe even a Blink Dagger. I guess he's going with the Blink Dagger build.
Is that enough though? Like, I don't know. Because I'm also looking at a Butterfly rapidly approaching on Cuckoo. So he's going to get true hit as well.
Yeah. If you stay too far back, your other heroes will just die without you doing anything. You need to be close enough to, kind of gust, but it's just a terribly difficult positioning game for Drow Ranger.
ET's got so much money. Like, ET's walking around with 29 armor, just casually, because he's now completed up a full
this ward
with the Crimson.
This ward scouts them all going in a row. Fly thinks that the area is safe because he's paced the area a couple of times with a gem, and he might see it on the uphill, but it might be a little bit too late.
At least have their own observer ward up, so they see TNC coming over. The TNC don't care, they just mantra up and send in a couple of PL illusions.
They have to de-ward the area though. They can't really, like Jimmy doesn't have a force staff, so he still needs to be close enough with the gem, and now it's kind of a slow game for them. Like they have to send like the Elder Titan to scout the high ground using the gem to down the wards, and
that's when Cuckoo comes in, right? He's pushing down this mid lane at the moment, the top lane's already pressured in. OG, they have to be worried about what happens at home. With no tier 3 towers in the mid and the top, these rags are very easy to push in, and there you go, Cuckoo straight up. Good luck just to chip away at the range rags, but No-Tail's already back to defend on the mid, and Miracle on the top. That opens up TNT to move themselves into the pit.
They need a D-ward though. I think that's like higher priority than taking that road. Maybe you can do both simultaneously, but make sure that OG have to go in blind. Make the Drow Ranger Medusa, the Faceless Boy, like always scared. Is Axe with an Infest Bomb and like about to jump onto me, and see if they get this one right on the common ward spot. They throw the Spirit over there, and it doesn't look like they actually ping it out, so they clear only one ward during that whole time that Cuckoo forced them to TP back. And Fly replaces another Observer ward far to the left of where the original one was, and these are not easy to de-ward when you don't have high ground vision, you don't have an Iron Talon to instantly kill these wards, and it's all about the ops.
Vision, make the best choices to start off these fights. TNC, they've done a pretty damn good job of it. Even with that fight happen over in the dire jungle, both teams are looking to put down good wards, find really great moments of vision.
Fire doesn't have any wards down right now, and Jimmy doesn't have any in his inventory, so they might look for a play right now, hiding behind Cuckoo, because last time Cuckoo pushed, he was alone, and they might think that he might be doing the same thing, go for a chrono, and whoa.
That's why they're smoked up. Hello, Courier. You're walking around with me on your recipe. That is meant to be built. In fact, if they wait this out, they might be able to get rid of the Hyperstone. Wait for it to turn around. Still pushing through the mid. They bring down the range rags. They're inside the base, smoked up. No-Tail able to push himself away. So he will survive for now. But the extra TP coming forward is going to be Miracle at the front line. The full Mjolnir is completed over on him. So he puts on the double shielding. And then Moon jumps forward. He'll find Demon, the gem carrier of TNC. The Storm from Elder Titan won't create enough space. But still back in the mid lane. Cuckoo keeps the pressure on that mid rags. meaning OG can't continue to chase around TNC, but they do take the gem.
Very important awareness from No-Tail right there. Just 4-stepping away as soon as the smoke pog's kind of expecting them to be there without the T3 up. And now OG can make a move for the Roshan pit. They do have vision superiority over there, as well as the recently acquired gem from Demon. So I think they're happy with this. Not terribly happy maybe losing a Ranger Axe, but the turn of event that's happened in the last 30 seconds to a minute.
They're coming in. That Observer Ward, it caught a glimpse of the ET, and EU who just walks directly into the middle of OG. No way to survive that. The axe can kill off the Faceless Void while all that's been going on. And that actually opens up the mid lane. In fact, TNC can attack into the racks. OG need to come back. The TPs are starting up now. The Draw Range is the first one. Axe is waiting for a good opportunity. The range from Limeville, the blink again, No-Tail. So quick on the reflexes. Fortification keeps the racks up for crit to the front lines. He'll get the movement speed thanks to the Battle Hunger. So Sam is away. Even with the Yule Scepter, Miracle behind Axe. Axe into the tree line. 1 second till Blink's back off cooldown. Then he can just jump down and he will into the river. But TNC again forcing a reaction out from OG that no one's been capable of bringing down Roshan for the last 10 minutes, maybe longer.
Well, Moon's dead for this fight. Will look like there'll be a 4-on-4.
VS is going to join him. Yep, Observer Ward, oh Demon, he plants the Obs Ward and then gets pushed back up the cliff bar over on the other side of the river. Wishlock dying so quickly in the act, he gets the call, again Draw Ranger in a bad position, couldn't force himself out far enough, and then Raven pulls back out. He actually keeps Axe alive until Miracle with a split shot. How much of a tank is he? Not enough! The diffusal burning through all of the mana shield, and now TNC can safely take Roshan, while OG have 4 heroes in the grave.
And what a clutch ward. It like gets the vision on the back line so that Lifestealer and Axe can always do their thing. These Observer Wards just enabling TNC to just always dismantle OG. They're never 5 strong. Someone always gets picked up at the start of the fight. And you know, that's not an ideal position to be in. Like down the river, you don't really have good escape. You have to run to the left or the right and pile through the choke. And range heroes kind of suffer in that area.
This is a nightmare for TNC, but it's a celebration for all the Philippines. As TNC, they're coming down the mid lane. There is no draw range for 22 seconds. You get the buyback out from Medusa, but Cuckoo, he's still got Aegis Immortal. A melee rank is the minimum TNC want from this push. A full butterfly even being completed up when this push happens for the PL, and you just make more Cuckoos. The Stomp, hold Miracle at the back line, so say goodbye to your mid ranks. Up to the top. And still TNC, are they happy with this? With Dro back up? Yeah, they are. They're playing this really safe. Not a single opportunity for OG. They do not want to let OG back into this game.
And it's really smart how they're dealing with the Axe Drow. They're always getting the Lifestealer to jump the Drow Ranger and the PL to cause chaos around her, because the Drow Ranger will still like easily kill the PL with the Axe. But if there's only 2 units, like Lifestealer and Axe, it doesn't really do that much. You're not going to have insane amount of Maelstrom procs, especially when you have the magic immunity, and the Lifestealer is not going to do that much damage at all. So after the Drow Ranger falls, then the PL can do his thing. Medusa's not far enough to kill the Phantom Lancer illusions as fast as they spawn.
Even if you do, like, even if you do bring down the real PL, he's still got that Aegis Immortal. Like, you've still got that extra life. Later on, there'll be Cheese, which currently Demon is holding on to. TNC, just with everything working their way, the advantage has gone a very long way for them on the gold. Just over 17,000 advantage in net worth, and the experience is reflecting the same story.
I like all the defensive items that they built on TNC, like the Shivas and the ET. You don't see that too often. Most of the time it's like Yule, sometimes a Refresher, that you see crit go. Then you see like an extra Vanguard on top of the Crimson Guard already on the Elder Titan. And then the AC as well. All they're missing is the Blaz right now, but they're able to like tank the Medusa, even having the Drow Aura on her.
Okay, so if you're in RG's position, you're down a mid-ranks. What are you looking for? Are you looking for more damage? Is this Rapier time for Miracle? Is this, like, how do they find a path back in?
They need a, like, I think, like, double 4-staff on the Drow Ranger, maybe, like, even Chrono on top her, so the Lifestealer dies in the fight. Like, Lifestealer, like, when's the last time he's died? He's 12-1 right now, and, like, if he infests in, he can't infest out. So they have to make sure that they drop the life stealer somehow while the Drow survives. I think dropping a Chrono on top of her with a Stone Gaze and a Stone Gaze to cover the whole entire team from coming in, and a Death Ward drop at the same time, maybe like the Enchantress with a Dragon Lance, you know, poking at the life stealer from the outside. That's how they need to start the fight, but look at the way they're sieging. It's just Cuckoo out in front.
Yep, and he's dodging everything. He's got Mandra, he's got Doppelganger, so Kirk can't even throw an Impetus out. No-Tell now actually hitting him quite nicely with that Hurricane Pike, but like, nice is nice, but it's not a kill, and Cuckoo just keeps the push going. Even if he dies multiple times, you basically got 3 PLs in this fight. You'll have him from his buyback and the Aegis, the Immortal, and the original. Miracle almost out of mana, and Cuckoo, he just takes the melee racks. There's no answer. OG has this TNC lineup, even Crypt missing attacks, thanks to Butterfly.
Now the extra layer of protection from the Blink Dagger on the Phantom Lancer. After the Aegis, they've actually passed them to Chi, so they don't have any downtime. They don't have to waste a couple precious minutes on the Aegis. There's 1 minute, 15 seconds left, and I don't think OG can last that long.
Well, they'll try. Down to the bottom lane, OG needs something. Moon needs a good initiation area. They have to force half the Drow Ranger back into the well just to get away from one Phantom Lance to this PL. And maybe with some Impetus, Crit can make Cuckoo dangerous, but then Crit, he actually turns. He needs to push himself away, and the Illusion will chase him down. They cleared through enough of them. And there's the 4-star from Sam, getting him out. You see where Moon starts to prepare. Time walks into the tree line. He needs to make the danger zone work for OG. You almost need to catch out TNC in that wonderful box to the east. But when PL just throws lances forward, No-Tell again forced away from the racks.
The call from TNC has to be watch out for the Void, though. They don't have any eyes on the Void. He could be smoked behind. He could be on the south side. He could be like on the top side. They don't actually know where he is. So they need to use like the Phantom Lancer illusions, the Elder Titan Spirit to kind of find out where he is while constantly putting out pressure with Cuckoo. And 20 seconds left on the Aegis. Look like TNC, they're happy with their spoils.
This is very smart, Dota. They understand the Aegis is gone in 10, so why stick around? You back up. You don't take a risk. You've only got 1 lane of racks to go before you're 1 game up against OG in the elimination game here at TI.
This is like a technical victory from TNC. TKO. Way there, the warding game I think is especially important. And the way they've approached with the smokes, the way they approach with the siege, like there's the right way to do it. If you're confident in your execution and you're like, oh, we can make big out plays, you'll go for it a certain way. But this is like the least possible chance of them messing up, getting hit by multi-man Chrono, and like only 1 or 2 heroes will be even facing them to do something Stone Gaze, and there just hasn't been any opportunity for OG. Like they've been playing pretty decently. I haven't seen any like glaring errors from them. Or TNC just like where are they coming from? How did they kill Moon so fast?
That is terrific Dota from TNC. You'd wonder with a team like this playing on the bigger stage that Dota 2 has to offer, pressure would get to you if things would go awry. Those late game decisions which end up in a throw. And Cuckoo, wait for it. Does Akura actually buy anything? It's being chased down by the illusions. It gets over the tree line and away to safety.
But it might be Rapier time, I think, for Medusa.
Yeah, don't buy a Rapier and a Courier, which is under siege.
Luckily, he doesn't have enough money for it at the moment, but I think they're gonna maybe be protecting that shot for a bit.
Unless he's trying to just get up a Manta style.
You have one set of racks left.
Yeah, you have to commit. But what do you drop then? Like you drop your TP scroll, hold on to the Yasha?
Is that even a question, Toby?
I'm just like, what if you're gonna come back? What if TNC starts split pushing you? It's like, okay, I'm never leaving my base anyway. Well, I don't need a TP.
I don't think you can. They can't leave their base at the moment. Maybe like the D ward, but when you're 4 racks down.
So the only time you can leave your base, he just bought a Demon Edge, but that's a Demon Edge for no tail.
Yeah, he needs MKB. Medusa.
Yeah. She could do exactly the same as well.
Oh, they're not going to have enough time.
Here comes TNC in through the bottom lane. They send Cuckoo in first. This time he doesn't have an Aegis Immortal, but he does have a heart to help him with a push. He just jumps in. The Gust will be there. He's got to be careful. No extra life unless he wants to buy back a BT to the front lines.
Dude, he's not even scared.
Acceptable.
He has Manta, he has Diffusal. He didn't even pop any of them. He's like, I know I'm going to die. Just going to wait for my heart to regen up. Just go back in. Here we got half on the Ranger rack. Just rinse and repeat.
No tail having to Gust on just illusions to push him back. And, well, Medusa Turns on the Stone Gaze. Cuckoo is in fairly deep to try and focus on the support. Moon, bit of Chrono on the front line. He only finds the other Titans. The split does all the damage. This Chrono does practically nothing. TNC have taken minimal damage. In fact, they've killed off Crit. They're looking for a dieback on him. The illusions just keep going to work. Cuckoo's free at the space. The bottom rack will drop. You're dead going to kill off illusions. ET tanks it all. This should be the game right now. TNC, they are walked over. EG in game 1. A methodical, surgical killing of OG by TNC. The smiles of Demon, and rightly so. They played a superb game of Dota.
Yeah, they don't need to worry about the Drow Ranger. They often didn't ban it out in the group stage, and they have a lot of strategies prepared against Drow Ranger.
And you thought maybe OG would be able to have more of a push because the ET also slipped through. It's like OG was denied that initial tier 3 attack.
And, you know, that's kind of calm, calculated Dota that OG liked to play, but TNC just made every team fight so